everyone, we are the group 2. Today we were going to discuss about the Lumad, indigenous people of Mindanao. Mindanao has rich in natural resources, vibrant festivals and cultural diversity, and one of the original stewards of the land is the Lumad. Lumad comes from Visayan language, means native or indigenous. It's a short term for Katauhang Lumad. This term was adopted during in 1986 Lumad Mindanao People Federation Assembly. They are distinct from the Moro people and Christian settlers here in Mindanao. Examples of ethno-linguistic groups are the Manubo, Mangyan, Tiboli, Blaan, and Mandaya. Dalumad live across Mindanao's forest, highlands, coastal areas, and valleys. These include the Mamanwa, are found in Caraga region. Manubo lives in Agusan, Bukidnon, Cotabato, and Davao. The Tipoli are found in South Cotabato, and Mangyan are found in Mindoro. Dablaan lives in South Cotabato, Sarangani, and parts of Davao del Sur. Tiduray lives in Sultan Kudarat and Maguindanao, and the Bagubo are found in Davao region. Kaulo lives in Davao del Sur and Davao Occidental, and the Negritos are widely dispersed from Luzon and Palawan to parts of Mindanao, and Mandaya are found in Davao Oriental. Traditional way life of Lumad. In terms of economy, they rely on farming, hunting, weaving, and fishing. In terms of belief, they believe in unseen spirits that dwells in rivers, forests, and mountains. They also do the rituals and offering to keep the balance between human and nature. In terms of leader, traditionally they lead by the dato or the chief, by land, the healer or spiritual leader, and Bagani or the warrior. Dalumad are believed to be descendants of Austronesian-speaking settlers who arrived 1,000 years ago. Lumad resisted outside religions and colonization to preserve their culture. However, with modernization, mining, and agribusiness, many Lumad have been pushed out of their ancestral land, leading to displacement and conflict.
Manwa. Dama Manwa are one of the indigenous people of the Philippines. They are considered among the earliest inhabitants of the country and are part of the Negrito groups. Dama Manwa are known for their district culture, traditional way of life, and closer relationships with nature. The location of Mamanwa. They usually settle in mountainous and forested areas near rivers and coastal regions. Mainly live in Mindanao, particular in the province of Surigao del Norte, Surigao del Sur, Agusan del Sur, and Agusan del Norte. Characteristics. The Mamanwa generally have dark skin, curly hair, and small body frames. That's the Mamanwa what looks like. Language. They speak the Mamanwa language, which belongs to the Visayas language group. Many Mamanwa also speak Cebuano and Filipino, especially those who interact frequently with lowland communities. Way of life. Traditionally, the Mamanwa lived as hunter-gatherers, relying on fishing, hunting wild animals, and gathering forest products such as fruits, roots, and honey. Over time, some have adopted farming, planting crops like rice, corn, and root crops. Others engage in fishing and small-scale trading. Beliefs in religion. Traditionally believes in spirits that live in nature such as forests, rivers, and mountains. They also believe in a supreme being and practice ritual to seek protection, healing, and good harvests.
Indigenous peoples of Mindanao, Blaan and Tiduray. Ang mga Blaan ay matatagpuan sa katimugan ng Mindanao. Sila ay nagpanatiling isang masigla at buhay na kultura. Ang kanilang lupang ninuno ay matatagpuan sa South Cotabato, Sarangani, Davao Occidental at Sultan Kudarat. Ang mga Blaan ay kilala sa kanilang katatagan, mayamang tradisyon, pasalita at mga gawaing spiritual. Language and oral tradition. Ang wikang Blaan ay may dalawang pangunahing dialekto, ang Coronadal Blaan at Sarangani Blaan. Ngunit sila ay naging bihasa sa Cebuano, Hiligaynon, Tagalog at maging English. Nakadepende kung saan sila lumaki. Bago pa man magkaroon ng mga nakasukat na tala na preserba ng mga Blaan ang kanilang kultura sa pamamagitan ng panitikang pasalita na patuloy na naipasa mula sa isang henerasyon patungo sa susunod. Susom, folktales and myths. Pinapalagahan nila ang kalikasan at naniniwala sa mga espiritual. Anta o chants, mga awit o dasal na ginagamit sa mga ritual at pang-araw-araw na buhay. Alamat o epics, mga epikong tumatalakay sa alamat na pinuno at mandirigma na nagpapanatiling dangal karangalan at pinagmulan ng mga Blaan. Daily life, artistry, and beliefs. Kilala ang mga Blaan sa kanilang husay sa sining at paggawa. Ang mga gawa nila gamit ang abaka at tinina gamit ang mga likas na kulay ay nagpapakita ng masalimuot at natatanging mga disenyo. Mahusay din silang mga panday ng metal. Gumagawa sila ng mga alahas at sandata tulad ng fais o mahabang kutsilyo, bujak o sibat. Karaniwang gawa sa kawayan at pawid ang tahanan ng mga Blaan. Ang mga lalaki ay namamahala sa mabibigat na gawain at proteksyon. Ang mga babae naman, nag-aalaga ng tahanan, naghahabi at nagpapasa ng kaalamang kultura. Music, rituals, and animistic beliefs. Ang mga musika at sayaw ay mahalagang bahagi ng espiritual at panlipunang buhay ng mga Blaan. Ang mga ito ay hindi lamang pagtatanghal kundi mga seremonyal na gawain tulad ng paghahalili ng isang dato o pinunong tribo o pagdiriwang ng masaganang ani. Ang kanilang paniniwalang espiritual ay nakaugat sa animismo kung saan pinaniniwalaang may espiritu ang mga ilog, bundok at puno. Naniniwala silang na ang mga espiritu ang lumikha ng isang banal na nilalang at tinatawag na malu o diwata na dapat igalang sa pamamagitan ng mga ritual, alay at pangangalaga sa kalikasan. Ang fiesta tulad ng Blaan Du-Tabi Festival ay hindi lamang pagdiriwang ng mga hinabing tela kundi pati ng kanilang espiritual na ugnayan sa kalikasan. Cultural values and survival. Cultural values and survival. Pinapahalagahan din nila cultural values and survival. The Blaan way of life is guided by values of balance, reverence for nature, and respect for elders and ancestors. Pinapahalagahan din nila ang mga sining, ritual at panitikang pasalita ay nagpapakita ng pananaw sa mundo kung saan ang buhay ay sagrado at ang mga tradisyon ay dapat pangalagaan at parangalan. Tiduray. In the upland areas of Maguindanao and parts of Sultan Kudarat, the Tiduray, also known as Tiruray, live in tight-knit communities that reflect their deep respect for family cooperation and ancestral customs. Ang kanilang paraan ng pamumuhay ay hinubog ng matibay na ugnayan, panlipunan, tradisyonal na pamumuno at mga ritual na nagpapatibay ng pagkakaisa ng komunidad. Social structure and community life. Tiduray communities called Dangunon are usually composed of small clusters of 5 to 20 families living across wide areas. The heart of each community is the coring or family unit. Hindi lamang ito binuo ng magulang at mga anak kundi pati ng mga nakakatanda at iba pang kamag-anak. Ang pinagsasaluhang palayok ay literal at simbolikong kahulugan na pinaghatian ang pagkain at mga tungkulin at mga bawat kasapi ay may ambag sa ikabubuti ng sambahayan. May isang malaking pangkat na tinatawag na inggid ay binuo ng ilang pamayanan na magkakaugnayan sa dugo o pag-aasawa. Nanatiling mahalaga ang konsepto ng sitifon o ang pagiging magkaugnay bilang magkakapitbahay at magkakasamang naninirahan sa pagpapatibay ng ugnayang panlipunan. Iginagalang na personalidad na tinatawag na kifiduan, isang nakakatandang nagsisilbing dalubhasa sa batas at gabay ng moralidad. Marriage, kinship, and family rules. Marriage among the Tiduray is a family-centered affair. The groom's family prepare tumok or bride price, often in the form of animals or valuable, as a way of honoring the bride's family. Kinship is both bilateral and generational. Relationships are honored on both the mother's and father's sides, and terms for family members reflect a deep understanding of lineage and duty. Childhood and education. Children are raised to become self-sufficient early in life. By age 6, boys already help guard the fields and collect firewood, while girls contribute by pounding rice, weaving baskets, and fetching water. Enduring values and cultural integrity. Tiduray society is a living example of how indigenous communities can maintain harmony through shared resource, mutual respect, and cultural pride.
I am Sheena Rabarang Calambro and my report is all about Bagubo. The name Bagubo comes from the word bagu, meaning new, and ubu or ubu meaning to grow. Together is commonly understood to mean new people or newcomers. The term reflects the identity of the Bagubo as a people with a strong cultural heritage, known for their traditions in music, dance, weaving, beadwork, and metalcraft, as well as their deep spiritual belief and close connection to the nature. Characteristics. Bagubu tribe characteristics reflect a blend of physical trait, rich in artistic tradition, community values, and connection to the nature of spirit. Spiritual belief and ceremonies, gratitudes, and showing respect to the great power that governs their lives. Language and oral traditions. While many are influenced fluent in Cebuano, Filipino, and English, their native tongue remain crucial in daily communication and ritual life. Everyday life and traditional craft of Bagubo culture. Economy. The economy of Bagubo tribe is mainly based on agriculture, craftsmen, and trade. Artistic heritage, textiles, bedwork, and ceremonial objects. Textiles are among the most valued artistic expression. Design often symbolize element of nature, ancestor spirit, and community status. Music and dance and festival. Music and dance are essential expression of Bagubo culture. During ritual and company gatherings, gong, drums, floats, and loads accompany dance like Sugo Uno, Palagisi, and Tanggongko. Thank you.
Good day, everyone. Today, we journey upstream literally and spiritually to discover the Mandaya people, the first settler upstream of eastern Mindanao. The Mandaya people, primarily found in Davao Oriental and parts of Davao de Oro, Philippines, embody a vibrant of deeply spiritual culture. Their names meaning first settler upstream, reflect an enduring connections to the land and rivers that shape their daily lives and traditions. So, their names itself tells a story, man meaning people, and Daya meaning upstream, reflecting how they build their communities along the river of Davao Oriental and parts of Davao de Oro, living in deep harmony with nature. The Mandaya are one of Mindanao's eldest indigenous group. Their identity is rooted in the land, literally moving upstream along river to establish settlements that respect rather than dominate the environment. This isn't just geography, it's philosophy. Upstream symbolize their pursuit and purity, spiritual depth, and connection to ancestral sources. Until today, they maintain a vibrant, living culture centered on rivers, forests, and mountains. So their language and oral tradition, um, through across the valley mountains, the Mandaya remains united by their language, an Austronesian tongue spoken in homes and markets. But Their true treasure lies in oral tradition, the Ludaya epic, in their masterpiece, a sweeping narrative of heroes, moral trials, and guidance from ancestral spirit. Alongside it, elders share riddles, folk tales, and chant during wedding and healing rituals. Kanta at kwento that carry history in every syllables. Without a single written page, they preserve century of wisdom through voice alone. The Mandaya daily life and craftsmanship. Mandaya crafted from bamboo and nipa are devoted to protect against flood and honor nature. Their settlement seamlessly blend with the environment, reflecting harmonious relationship with the land. Life revolves around farming, weaving, and fishing. Men farm with the wooden tools and hunt with the handmade spears. Women fish with woven nets and transform abaca fiber into thread. But their most craft is dagmay weaving, using backstrap looms and plant-based dyes. Women create textile believed to be dream relieved, not mere cloth but spiritual armor woven when prayers and ancestral memories. When it comes to their spiritual and rituals, the spiritually breathe through every aspect of Mandaya life. They believe a supreme creator and spirit dwelling in forest, river, and skies. Harmony with this spirit isn't optional, isn't essential for community well-being. Guiding this balance are the Babylons, spiritual leaders who interpret dreams, lead healing ceremonies, and serve as bridges between world. And the Dagmay cloth, it's worn during the rituals not just for beauty but for protection, connection, and wearer to the spirit rhythm. Dito, ang paniniwala ay buhay, hindi lamang tradisyon. In their music, dance, and instrument, music is a heartbeat of Mandaya gatherings. Their instrument tells story. The kudlung, a boat-shaped load. The gimbal, a deer-skin drum calling communities to celebration. The bonabon, or a bamboo float whispering mountain winds. And the kubing, a dedicated Joe harp used in intimate love song. Their dances, expressing courtship, healing, and thanksgiving, aren't performances, they're prayers in motion, blending generation and shape. Traditional clothing. Mandaya clothing speaks before a word is spoken.
Mandaya traditional clothing. The Mandaya clothing is both practical and deeply symbolic, reflecting social identity and pride. For women, Mandaya attire includes dagom blouses, which are traditionally embroidered. And next, the ligkaw shirts, which made from dagmay, a hand-woven textile. And next, the beaded accessories like palatina or coin chest pieces. And last, the pamulang, which are ivory bracelets. These items highlight the Mandaya women's craftsmanship, beauty, and cultural expressions. And for men, the traditional clothing includes embroidered skirts known as dagom ng usog. And the next is the pantot trousers. These garments are commonly worn during rituals, ceremonies, and festivals, symbolizing status, respect for traditions, and community belonging. Overall, the Mandaya clothing reflects their values, artistry, and deep connection to their cultural heritage. Festivals, celebrating heritage and resilience. Some of the important festivals include Kalindugan. A Kalindugan is a festival of gratitude and thanksgiving, expressing appreciation for blessings and harmony within the community. Next, we have Panag Sandug. It is a celebration of unity and cultural heritage, bringing people together to honor shared traditions. And next, we have Dinang Wagay. It is a celebration or a festival honoring ancestral spirits and traditions. Next, we have Sambuukan. It is a bringing together communities for shared cultural expressions like music, dance, and rituals. These festivals are vital for cultural preservation, uniting generations, and fostering pride in their rich heritage. They are vibrant expressions of Mandaya identity and spiritual depth. This festival, it helps to unite the generations. It also Mandaya tradition alive despite of modernization. Key themes of Mandaya culture. The Mandaya culture is deeply connected to spirituality, storytelling, craftsmanship, and community life. First, we have profound spirituality. It is rooted in ancestor worship and a deep reverence for the nature world. It is the Mandaya people strongly believe in honoring their ancestors and respecting nature. For them, the mountains, rivers, and forests are sacred. For example, before farming or hunting, they often perform rituals to ask for guidance and protection from spirits. So next we have sacred narratives. It is oral literature and sacred books are integral to rituals for storytelling. It is the stories are passed down orally, especially through epics like Ludaya, which teach values such as bravery, respect, and unity. These stories are not just for entertainment, they guide how people live and treat others. Third, we have rich material culture. It is expressed through intricate weaving, traditional music, and ritual dress. The Mandaya are known for their beautiful weaving, especially the Dagmay cloth, which has intricate patterns and natural dyes. Their traditional music, clothing, and accessories are also used in rituals and celebration. So we have the last one, active preservation. Through vibrant festival and intergenerational teaching, it is their culture is kept alive through festivals, rituals, and elders teaching the younger generations. This ensures that traditional do not fade and continue to be practiced today. Enduring legacy and modern challenges. The Mandaya people are a strong example of cultural resilience despite changes brought by modernization. Their traditions, like waving dagmay and sharing oral stories, remain important parts of their identity. However, they may face challenges such as resource exploitation, like mining or deforestation. Cultural assimilation. It is losing traditions due to modern lifestyle. And economic struggles. Because of this, efforts to protect their land, culture, and way of life are very important. Supporting education, cultural programs, and sustainable development helps ensure that the Mandaya culture continues to strive in the modern world. Bridging past and future. The Mandaya story is one of the profound connection to land, spirit, and community. By understanding and respecting their unique heritage, we contribute to the preservation of a vital part of global cultural diversity. So the image of their elder represents wisdom and tradition being passed down. The pattern symbolizes their rich cultural identity, such as weaving and art. The children dancing show how the younger generation keeps the culture alive through learning, practice, and celebration. The message, explore, learn, and respect, reminds us that by understanding and respecting the Mandaya heritage, we help preserve an important part of cultural diversity, not just for them, but for the whole world. Before my report ends, I can say that ang kultura ng Mandaya ay tulay sa pagitan ng nakaraan at hinaharap. Habang umuunlad ang mundo, patuloy nilang pinangangalagaan ang kanilang identidad. That's all. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I am Donna Claire Celebre, and I will report the Mangyan Quiet Governance Through Tradition, Blaan Balance Rules and Dato Rules, and Mamanwa Wisdom Lead Leadership. So first, Mamanwa Wisdom Lead Leadership, Community Leadership. No formal or permanent political leaders. Elders and wise individuals are individuals guide decision. Leadership is rotational and situational. Authority is earned through wisdom. Conflict resolution and rituals. Elders mediate disputes. Decision through dialogue and consensus. Kinship system. Vegetarian. Everyone has voice. Cooperation over hierarchy. Families work together in daily life. Culture values. Respect. Adaptability. Harmony with nature. Leadership is responsibility. Youth learn humility and respect. So dito sa manual leadership, wala silang mga formal na political leaders or permanent, tapos ginaguide sila ng mga matatanda at yung mga may mga wise decision. Tapos yung leadership nila is rotational and situational, depende sa kunwari yung isang leader, pagtapos niya papalitan naman siya ng isang leader, tapos depende sa kanyang kakayahan. Mangyan Quiet Governance Through Tradition. Community leadership led by respected elders, no rigid hierarchy, guided by oral laws or alag. Leaders serve conflict resolution and rituals, calm discussion and mediation. Rituals restore harmony. Kinship system, extended, closely knit families. Bilateral kinship, cooperation in farming and weaving. Culture values, humility and peaceful living. Respect for personal space, violence discouraged. So dito naman sa Mangyan Quiet Governance, ang mga namumuno dito ay yung mga matatanda or mga nakakatanda sa kanila, yung mga kalolo-lolo kanila or lola. Tapos ang mga leader dito yung nag-serve. Ang Mangyan Quiet Governance para siyang family gatherings or family meeting na pinamumunuan ng mga nakakatanda sa atin, like mga lolo or lola natin, tapos para hindi magkakagulo yung mapapag-uusapan or mapag-meetingan. Tapos Blaan, Balance Rules, and Dato Rule. Community leadership led by a Dato. Leadership heredity but merit-based. Advised by elders and spiritual leaders. Conflict resolution and rituals. Community gatherings, preparation and space packs, rituals during major discussion, kinship system, alliance through marriage, extended families work together, shared responsibility, culture, values, respect for tradition and hierarchy. Spiritual guidance is essential. Symbols show status and role. So dito naman sa Blaan roles, balance roles and dato role ay ang namumuno sa kanila ay yung mga dato, yung nakakataas sa kanila. Tapos dito pwede niyang ipasa sa kanyang anak yung responsibility niya pag kunwari nawala na siya, pwede na siya ipasa sa kanyang anak. Pero dapat yung anak niya na kaya niya yung mga responsibility ng isang dato, kasi kung hindi niya kaya, yung susunod na anak yung maglilid pag hindi na kaya ng nakasunod. Yung Blaan roles, balance roles and dato role, para kang nasa isang courtroom na mga facts lang yung yung pinakikinggan ng isang dato. Tapos ano lang siya na sinusunod niya lang yung mga sasabihin pinapakinggan niya yung mga facts para smooth lang yung mga mapag-uusapan na issue. Tapos dapat lahat ng mga naka-follow, susundin yun. Yun lamang po. Maraming salamat.
Hi everyone, my name is Omar Gani and I'll be discussing the leadership and social structure of a three indigenous group, which is the Bagobo, the Duray, and the Kaolo or Kalagan. So let's start. The first one is the Duray, the shared power to Timuay. So Bagobo are being led by a Timuay, which is a chief, no? A respected leader who has both, which is the spiritual and the political roles. So, hindi lang iisa yung pinupukusan niya, kundi pati ang spiritual, no? Hindi ang political, but also the spiritual. But what is important here is, in Tiduray, the leadership is being shared. Hindi lang yung Timuay yung nag-desisyon. Because in a decision, in order for it to be made, they going through a discussion and agreement with the community. So hindi lang ito nakafocus or hindi lang ito kumbaga obligation of the Timuay, but also naririnig din ang voice ng community before ito maka-decide, no? When a conflicts happen naman, they focuses on restoring the peace. And restoring the peace through rituals and compensation and not punishment. So, nakafocus sila sa maintaining the peace, restoring the peace, unlike in our modern cities sa atin, where we focuses mostly on the punishment, no? Magagawa ng kasalanan, focus agad sa punishment, makukulong ka, ganito. In them, they restore the peace muna, and they discuss about the conflict, no? And conflict, okay. And in the kinship naman, part of the Teduray, kinship is bilateral, which is not only one, but both sides of a family yung connection nila. It's not only example, not only nakafocus ang family connection no sa father side, but also in the mother side. That's why it's a bilateral. Yan. And to the cultural values, Tiduray, they value peace, justice, and respect. No, they value peace and justice and respect, where the leaders is served, nag-serve yung leader, but not rule. Yon. That's why it's called Tiduray, the shared power to Timuay. The next one is Bagobo, the spiritual leadership and the customary laws. No, the Bagobo are being led by Dato, with the help of the elders and the spiritual leaders, which is called Babaylan. But they are not only spiritual leaders, but they are also a healer, no? Ang Babaylan. In order to earn the leadership, you must prove or go through fairness and bravery. So hindi yan basta-basta, no? Ang pagiging leader sa Bagobo. You have to prove muna ang fairness and also the bravery, no? Hindi lang siya uh, hindi lang siya basta-basta. So, in the conflict, in the side of the conflict sa Bagobo, kung may conflict na ma-appeared or happened, they settle this by using the customary laws and rituals, no, given by the Babaylan. They settle all the conflicts by customary laws that will be deducted by the Babaylan and also the Dato. No. So to the to the kinship part of the Bagobo, the kinship part is family clans ties are very strong, no? Malakas yung connection nila, they maintain peace. Hindi sila nag-aaway, ganun, in other parts. So, hindi sila nag-aaway. They maintain peace talaga, no? So, and sa cultural values of the Bagobo, they highly value tradition, the peace, and also the respect for their spiritual beliefs. Yan, no? So, they value talaga yung spiritual belief nila. Hindi nila ito hindi nito pinagpapaliban. So, and lastly is kaulo or kalagan, or the dual role of faith and tradition. Yan, the dual role of faith and tradition. So, in Kalagan, they have dual leadership system, which is the tribal um, the tribal leaders who manage the traditions and the land, while the imams and the banditas who manage the religious life. No, dalawa yung leadership nila, which is same sa amin talaga, which is Magindanaon. Oh, actually same lang kami, but with a different dialect lang pagsasalita. Same lang kami. Culture, inside of culture, also the religion, same lang talaga kami. Pero ang pagkakaiba lang talaga is yung pag-progress ng world. As the world progress, we learn, no? Nag-learn na kami kung ano yung tama talaga. Not like before na wala pa masyadong technology. And now is marami na kaming learnings, which is the instead of banditas, we follow the mufti. But let's stick to the lecture again. So in the conflicts naman sa mga Kalagan conflicts, if a conflict comes, they resolve this conflict through a community decision, no? Community decision, or what we call is kapandidimuran. Oh, yun, we resolve this by a community discussion. Yan, kapandidimuran pa sa conflict. But syempre, with the blending of Islamic and indigenous practice, no? So their leadership is based on our wisdom, faith, and respect for elders, and also yun self na explanatory yung culture values, no? So that's all for my part. Thank you very much.
Good morning, ma'am. My name is Irish B. Galanta, and this is my topic is all about Negrito and communal equality and flexibility. So, the topic is a community of leadership is number one is no permanent leaders. Leadership is the task of the flexible, and elders and the most experienced lead hunting rituals or problem solving in gathering. And last is authority is formal and depends on trust, not title, conflict resolution, and rituals. Kingship system is kingship is a fluid and based on cooperation rather than the rules. Group are small, family oriented, and mobile. Survival requires everyone to pitch in from the young and to old. So Next is cultural values. Deep cultural values is deeply respect nature and spiritual beings, prioritize and simplifies equality and mutual care. So leadership is a shared and responsibility is not a status symbol. So Negrito is communities practice a highly flexible and egalitarian form of leadership. They do not have a permanent leaders, and instead the leadership change depending on the task of situation. Elders is Elders and experienced member naturally guide activities as a hunting, rituals, and resolving problems, but their authority is not informal based on so but their authority is informal based on trust rather than the titles. So conflict are the settles peaceful and through groups discussion and often accompanied by a ritual like signing of offering to the nature spirit, and their kingship system is cooperative and fluid with the small mobile families based on group where everyone contribute to rituals. Overall, Negrito's culture values is simplify of equality, mutual care, and deeply respect for the nature and spiritual being. So next is adaptability and governance in the tone with the nature and spirit. So leadership is ruled by the Datu who most be demonstrated cultural wisdom and moral uprightness and spiritual leadership. Often female balayan work alongside the Datu. So community has a respect and a leadership based on the ability to guide both ritual and life discussion. So so conflict resolution and the rituals conflict resolved to through spiritual consolation rituals and the compensation symbolize like instrument like the hiligong boat lote may be used in ceremonies. So we have a cultural values. The cultural values is the artistic expression, waving music, dance, reflect to the social rules and spiritual message. So, Tibuli governance tone is nature. The Tibuli people follow the the Tiboli people follow the governance system that is closely connected to the nature spiritual belief. Their community is led by the Datu who must be show wisdom, moral integrity, and guiding rituals and important discussion. Decision conflict to the resolve through spiritual consolation, rituals, and compassion to restore harmony rather than expose punishment. Strong kingship is ties to connect the clan through marriage and land, while the elders preserve oral tradition and history cultural expression. such as waving music that reflect their spiritual values, and, and leadership guide by the principle of Kim Lebon, which is specifies balance, dignity, and a harmony with the nature and ancestor. That's all my report. Thank you.
Manobo and Mandaya indigenous cultures. Two prominent indigenous groups in Mindanao, Philippines, known for bravery, artistry, spirituality, and tradition, rich oral histories, music, weaving, and rituals. These slides introduce the two indigenous groups, Manobo and Mandaya, and highlights that they are both from Mindanao, emphasize their importance in the Philippine cultural heritage and their strong traditions in music, storytelling, and crafts. Who are the Manobo indigenous people of central and southern Mindanao? Name means people or human beings. Traditionally, farmers, hunters, and warriors. Explain where the Manobo live and what their name means. Mention their traditional lifestyle such as farming and hunting and how this shape their culture and community values. Manobo, voice or valor. Epic chants recount heroes and battles. Oral traditions passed through generations celebrate courage, leadership, and community. Discuss how Manobo epics and chants tell stories of heroes and bravery. Stress that their oral traditions were passed down before written records and helped teach morals and history. Manobo rhythm of the ancient. Music uses gongs and drums. Dances imitate nature and warfare. Performed in rituals and celebration. Explain the role of music and dance in Manobo society. Describe the use of gongs and drums and how performance are connected to rituals, celebration, and nature. Who are the Mandaya found in Davao Oriental and Narbi areas? Name means upstream people, known for colorful textiles and beadwork. Introduce the Mandaya people and where they are located. Explain the meaning of their names and how geography influenced their lifestyle and artistic traditional. Mandaya, keepers of the sacred waves, intricate handwoven fabrics pattern symbolize ancestors' protection and status. Weaving fast from elders to youth. Talk about Mandaya weaving, focusing on how designs are symbolic and meaningful. Mention that patterns may represent protection, ancestors, or social rank, and that weaving skills are inherited. Mandaya, spirit song, chants used in healing and ceremonies, connect people with ancestral spirits, often accompanied by traditional instrument. Explain that spirit songs are used in ceremonies and healing rituals. Emphasize the spiritual connection between the Mandaya people and their ancestors through music. Manobo versus Mandaya. Both value oral tradition and ritual. Manobo emphasize heroic epics and dance. Mandaya famous for waving and spiritual music. Compare the two group by pointing out similarities like oral traditions and rituals, while also highlighting differences such as Manobo epics and Mandaya textiles. Preservation of culture, threatened by modernization, school and cultural groups help preserve heritage. Festivals showcase tradition, discuss the challenges faced by indigenous culture today, such as modernization, mention the role of education, community programs, and festival in preserving traditions. Conclusion: Manobo and Mandaya cultures remain vibrant. They, their art and music express identity and history. Protecting traditions ensures cultural survival.
So good morning everyone. Today I will discuss lesson 2.4, which is all about artistic traditions and daily life of indigenous groups in Mindanao. These groups use arts not just for decoration but as a way to communicate, to honor spirits, and to preserve their identity. So learning objectives. By the end of the lesson, the class should be able to identify the artistic traditions of the Mamanwa, Tibuli, and Bilaan, explain how weaving, music, and dance, and oral literature reflect their way of life, appreciate indigenous art as a part of Filipino cultural identity. So we will focus on three groups, the Mamanwa, Tibuli, and Bilaan. Let's start with the Mamanwa. The Mamanwa lives in the mountains of northern East Mindanao. They are forest-based and very connected to nature and spirits. They are the earliest settlers in the archipelago. Let's move on to the weaving and crafts. So the women are master weavers of mats, hammocks, and basket, using the local materials like rattan, pandan, and bamboo. This craft is not only used for daily living, but also for rituals and spiritual practices. The Mamanwa music, though simple, it is soulful and sacred. Instruments such as bamboo, zithers, and gongs, and wooden clappers. It is accompanied by ritual dances during healing ceremonies and community gatherings, and their movements and sounds are closely tied to forest spirits, expressing gratitude, harmony, and collective joy. Mamanwa's oral literature is storytelling essential to the Mamanwa culture. They have stories, chants, and folk tales passed down by the elders, and the storytelling usually happens at night around the fire. So, cultural meaning. For the Mamanwa, art and daily life are one of the same. Creativity springs from necessity, spirituality, and kinship, reinforcing the values of unity, resilience, and balance with the natural world. Their traditions endure quietly yet powerfully through each woven strand, song, and spoken word. So for the Mamanwa, art, daily life, and spirituality are connected. Their creations show respect for nature and unity in their community. So the next group is the Tibuli. So, the Tibuli of South Cotabato are widely admired for their sacred, dream-inspired artistry and vibrant cultural expressions. So, for them, art is not merely aesthetic, it is spiritual calling, guided by ancestral wisdom and divine messages. So, let's move on to weavings and crafts. So, at the heart of Tibuli culture is tinalak, a very complicated woven textile made from the abaca fibers. So, what makes tinalak special is that the design is not made by choice but are revealed in dreams to chosen women known as dream weavers. So, these sacred clothes are used in weddings, childbirth rituals, healing practices, and are considered powerful symbols of unity, purity, and spiritual connections. So, the Tibuli expresses themselves through dances that mimics birds, daily labor, or spiritual connections, accompanied by the traditional instruments such as the higilong, agong, and kubing. Next is the oral literature. They also have the epic chants like Limlunay, which tells the story of ancestors and moral lessons often performed during communal gatherings and rites. The cultural meaning for the Tibuli artistic expression is deeply spiritual. Every thread woven, song sung, or dance performed is a form of communication with the unseen world. Through their creative practices, they honor the spirits, sustain cultural memory, and upholds the sacred balance of life. So, in short, for the Tibuli, every thread or movement is spiritual. For them, art is a communication with the unseen world. So, the next group is the Bilaan. So, the Bilaan people of southern Mindanao are known for their vibrant and artistic expressions, shaped by their agricultural lifestyle and oral traditions and deep spiritual beliefs. So, they are known for their vibrant artistic expressions, and the Bilaan live in southern Mindanao, especially in Sarangani and Davao del Sur. So, let's move on with the weaving and bedworks. So, they are known for their weaving and bedworks. Their garments are decorated with colorful beads. Each piece, whether a skirt, a blouse, or a headdress, carries symbolic patterns that narrate stories of family lineage, tribal cosmology, and spiritual rituals. So in music and dance, they use bamboo flutes, kolintang, gongs, and other traditional instruments. Dances accompanies healings rituals, harvest celebrations, and community gathering. So let's move on to the crafts and tools. Bilaan man takes prides in crafting knives, spears, and brass items that are both useful and ceremonial, often passed down through generation as family heirlooms. Oral literature. They preserve their history through chants, songs, and stories about heroes and spirits. They are told during rituals and gatherings, and it's like a mamanwa, it is often shared around the fire. So, cultural meaning. For the Bilaan, every artistic expression from the loom to the dance floor embodies their connection to the land, the ancestors, and the unseen spiritual world. Their art is not merely traditional, it is a way of life, an act of honoring what came before and what must be preserved. So for short, for Bilaan, every bead's patterns and rhythm shows identity, heritage, and connection to ancestors. So to summarize, the Mamanwa connects arts with nature and spirits through weaving, music, and stories. The Tibuli weaves dreams into sacred tinala cloth and express spirituality through music and dance. The Bilaan express identity through beadwork, weaving, and ceremonial music and tools. Their artistry traditions are not just art, they are language, memory, and spirituality. So, in conclusion, the artistic traditions of the Mamanwa, Tibuli, and Bilaan prove that indigenous art is a living heritage. It shows how creativity, identity, and daily life are deeply connected in indigenous communities. These traditions deserve respect because they keep the history alive. So that's all. Thank you.
Good day, everyone. So, I have this topic. These three indigenous groups, Tiduray, Bagobo, and Kalagan. So before we start, I would like to introduce myself. I am Gino T. Velascoen Jr., base IT 4B. So the subject for this subject is culture of Mindanao. Mindanao is a home to many rich and diverse cultures. In this video, we will explore the three indigenous groups, the Tiduray, Bagobo, and Kagan or Kalagan tribe, their traditions, beliefs, and way of life. So we can better understand the history and cultural identity that continue to shape their communities today. So next slide. The Tiduray tribe. So let's explore their history, culture, and traditions. Tiduray. Who are the Tiduray? The Tiduray are one of the indigenous people of Mindanao, mainly found in Maguindanao, as you can see in the maps that I input. And Sultan Kudarat, Cotabato. So their culture is deeply connected to nature, especially forests, rivers, and mountains, known for protecting ancestral lands, promoting peace, and preserving forests and traditional culture. So Tiduray are known for environmental protection, peace and order, and cultural preservation. So their clothing and accessories is like this, as you can see in the video. They also have the agong. For the women, they also have burluloy in our language, and the bandana for the male. So music and rituals. A large bronze gong, the most important Tiduray instrument for used in mga healing ceremonies, celebration, and dances. So they gather all together to participate and welcoming their guests, something like that. They have these events. So oral and literature of Tiduray are known for their epic chants called ulaging. So connected siya sa generations and honoring their spiritual relationship with nature. Next slide. The Bagobo tribe. So the Bagobo tribe, let's explore their history, culture, and traditions. They are located in Davao Gulf, the Bagobo. Who are the Bagobo? The Bagobo are indigenous group in Mindanao. Particularly, makikita natin sila sa Davao region, Davao nearby areas. Their culture is rich in music, rituals, and traditional performances. So, next slide. So ara sila sa traditional instruments, mahilig sila sa mga music, powerful rhythms using agongs, kulintang, and various drums to create a complex, unique music. So rhythm-based dances, their traditional dances are performed in harmony with rhythmic beats, expressing strength, unity, and cultural identity. So sa rituals and celebrations naman nila, rhythm is central to Bagobo ceremonies. Ginasaulog nilang ilang mga daily activities or something, harvest festivals, weddings, or sa mga kasalan, especially sa mga spiritual rituals honoring nature and ancestors. So, sa Bagobo, weaving garments nila is ito, mga bahag, mga more on tribal pattern, as you can see in the picture. Women wear beautiful hand-woven tube skirts or tapis, just like this one. So, next slide. So, sa Bagobo naman, they also have music and dance. The heartbeat of Bagobo ritual life lies in music and dance, whether welcoming a visitor, celebrating a harvest, or preparing for a spiritual rite. So, next slide. Oral literature naman nila is storytelling about values and cosmology passing down to generation. So, elders and cultural leaders share legends, epic tales, myth, and recount ancestral bravery. Ara silang mga pamahiin nga mga na-deceased nga mga fellow tribe nila. Ila gina paminsar or something, ang mga what we call this one, kamaayuhan sa tribo. nila kuan gina speak up. So next sa Kalagan tribe, we're gonna explore their history, culture, and traditions. So diri ni sila makita ang area sa parte sang Caraga region. Or who are the Kaulo or Kalagan? The Kaulo Kalagan people are indigenous group in Mindanao known for their ability to harmonize Islamic faith and ancestral tradition. So, ang Kalagan kag ang Islam is same lang or gina-adapt sang Kalagan ang Islamic faith or something like that. They practice Islam while still preserving their native customs, values, and community rituals passed down through their generation. So, trivia, the name Kagan or the name Kalagan has two popular etymologies that describe their character. Ka-alyagan or shining light, and kaag to inform or warn. So, the Kalagan, also known as Kagan or Kaagan, are Islamized indigenous group native to Davao region, southern Mindanao. They are often referred as the Davao Moros because they are the primary Muslim tribe indigenous to the Davao Gulf area. So, ang pangalan pala nga Kalagan is messenger sa mga kung sino tong ara sa highland, sa mga area nga mga tag-as, sila ang messenger nga halimbawa may ganito ganyan, may paparating na mga bisita or something, mga tao or mga intruder, sila ang naga-expose sa mga upod nila, sila ang nagahambal, naga-alert. So, they also have this music and dance, ritual dance of Kaulo are not only performances but acts of devotion and ancestral remembrance. O, halimbawa, may namatay sila or something, may event sila nga mga ginasaulog, they gather all together nga mag participate sa among nga event. These elements are believed to invite the presence of ancestral spirits. So sila mga taga Kaulo, Kalagan or Kaagan, ginakuan nila ang Islamic faith. Haragit sila. Na-adapt nila. So sa mga craft and textiles naman nila, hand-woven that can carry both functional and spiritual value. Maning mga ara sa ilang mga fingers, sa mga wrist, makikita mo sa ilang mga panlabas na panamit. So, oral tradition, same lang sa iban nga tribo gyapon nga naga istorya sila, hatag sang something gaslight. So those tribes na nabanggit ko, may kanya-kanya silang daily life focus and core meaning. Sample sa Tiduray, may ara sila sang farming, forest living. Sa Bagubo naman, crafting, rituals. Then sa Kalagan, may ara sila sang fishing, trading. Sa ilan ang daily life focus ng tatlo. Ang core meaning naman nila sa Tiduray, nature protection, sila ang sa mga illegal logging, silang sa peace, sila pod. Sa Bagubo, spiritual strength and bravery. Tapos sa Kalagan, faith, harmony, and respect. So sa ilan naman nga political leader, especially sa Tiduray, may ara sila sang kidatuan or dato. Sa Bagubo naman, dato or radya. So sa Kalagan, may same lang yapon, dato or sultan, same sa Islam. Sa political leader na sa spiritual leader, wala ko pa na-research sa Tiduray, pero sa Bagobo, may ginatawag sila nga balian, tapos sa Kalagan is called imam or pandita. Sa Tiduray, maintaining peace through traditional laws. Tapos sa Bagobo, strong traditions in music, rhythm, and dance. So sa Kalagan, people who harmonize Islamic faith with ancestral tradition. So, dalawa ang nakalink sila sa gina-preserve nila ang kultura nila sa as a tribo nga Kalagan. At the same time, ara sila ang pag-adapt sa Islamic faith. So, that's all guys.
Mangyan, keepers of bamboo in verse. Ang mga mangyan ay natatagpuan sa kagubatan at kabundukan ng Mindoro. Sila ay kilala sa pagkakaroon ng respeto sa kalikasan at sa kanilang mga sarili. Mangyan writing and weaving. Ang mga mangyan ay mayroong ancient script na tinatawag na surat mangyan. Ang surat mangyan ay pag-uukit ng mga geometric patterns sa isang bamboo gamit ang mga matatalim na bagay. Dito ay naisusulat nila ang kanilang mga tula, kanta, at mga saloobin na gustong iparating. Mangyan weaving. Ang mangyan weaving ay sa pagtatahi ng kanilang mga gamit ay meron silang mga geometric patterns at sa kanilang mga basket naman ay mas pinaiigting nila magkaroon ng mas pangmatagalang function ng kanilang basket dahil ito ginagamit sa pang-araw-araw kaysa sa paggarbo-garbo lang. Mangyan poetry and music. Ang mga mangyan ay mayroong sariling alpabeto at ito ay tinatawag na ambahan. Ang ambahan ay ang puso ng mga mangyan. Dito nila papahiwatig ang kanilang mga pang-araw-araw na saloobin, mga karanasan, pag-ibig, emosyon, relasyon, at para sa kalikasan. Ang oral tradition and communication ng mga mangyan ay magkaroon ng modesty, pagiging totoo, at pagiging gentle o pagiging mabait sa kahit sino man. Daily life and meaning. Ang mga mangyan ay hindi lang naaakit sa mga paggarbong display, kundi sa pagkakaroon ng mga art, at ang kanilang mga artistic tradition ay nag-i-emphasize ng simplicity, ethical living, and an inward focus that values peace, respect, and interconnectedness. Negritos, singer of the soil. Ang mga Negrito ay mga kauna-unahang inhabitants na dumating sa Pilipinas. Sila ay kilala bilang Agta sa Luzon at Agti sa Visayas. Sila ay mga nomadic na walang sariling lugar, pero mas malalim ang kanilang relasyon pagdating sa kalikasan. Sila din ay mga culture preserve gamit ang mga kanta, gamit sa paghuli ng mga hayop at mga oral traditions. Ang Negrito marriage ceremony ay isang musika na may natural na ekspresyon at hindi isang stage performance lang. Ito ay kanta na nagre-representa ng kanilang pamumuhay at emosyon sa ganitong mga okasyon. Sila ay kumakanta ng sunod-sunod kahit anumang training. Ito at ang undas at ang uso. Ang undas ay isang pagluluksa ng mga Negrito para sa mga taong namayapa at ang uso naman ay isang tradisyon ng pagliligawan ng dalawang magkasintahan. Ito ang uri ng mga kanta ng mga Negrito. Andyan ang amba, ang isang joyful wedding song, ang undas, morning chat for the dead, uso, courtship between lovers, at ito ay ginagawa gamit ang pagpapalakpak, mga bamboo, at mga simple percussions. Craftsmanship from the earth. Ang mga Negrito ay mayroong imbensyon ng mga raincoat gamit ang palm leaf. Ito ay nagsisilbing protection nila sa ulan at sa araw. Ang bamboo clappers naman ay isang instrumento nila sa pagtugtog ng mga awitin, pagkakaroon ng mga uso, at ito ay nagsisilbing instrument. Ang body scarification naman ay nagsisimbolo ng kanilang tradisyon. So, bakit? Body scarification as art. Ito ay mga sinasadyang sugat na nagsisimbolo upang mamarka sa kanilang katawan. Ito ay nagre-representa ng courage, life transition, at spiritual meaning. Ang art na nasa katawan nila ay nagsasabi ng personal at kung anong pagkakaiba ng kanilang mga istorya sa buhay. Sa oral tradition naman at shared knowledge ng mga Negrito, lahat ng matatanda ay nagkakaroon ng storytelling para sa ibang henerasyon. Ito ay nagsisilbing myths, survival lessons na may mga history na passed down through campfires, through songs, or during daily tasks. Everyone from elders to the children ay nagpa-participate. There is a culture and shared memory, dynamic, interactive, and alive in everything. Sa daily life and meaning naman ng mga Negrito, art is not separate from life. It flows naturally from their environment, their relationship, and their emotions. Whether crafting a tool, singing a love song, or sharing a tale, their creative expressions are intimately woven into survival, identity, and community bonds. Despite centuries of displacement and marginalization, Negrito communities continue to sing, craft, and tell their stories, preserving a cultural legacy born from simplicity, resilience, and a deep love for the land. Manubo, threads of life, echoes of ancestry. Ang mga manubo ay matatagpuan sa mga karatig probinsya tulad ng Agusan, Bukidnon, Davao at Cotabato. Sa weaving and clothing naman, ang mga manubo ay gumagamit ng abaka at mga cotton fibers na kinukulayan gamit ang mga plant-based na pigments. Sa kanilang mga produkto, meron silang inais na palda ng mga babae, ikaming sa blouse, at sa mga lalaki naman, kandit sa kanilang short at embroidered shirts sa taas. Music and dance. Echoing during planting, healing, courtships, and festivals. Ito ang mga tradisyonal na instruments ng mga manubo. Ang kulintang, agong, kubing, gandang, at litgit. Ang daling at tahing naman ang kanilang mga sayaw. Craftsmanships and ornamentation visible in every tool, ceremonial items, and decoratives. Ang mga lalaki ay naatasang gumawa ng mga gamit para sa kanilang paghahunting, at ang mga babae naman ay naatasang gumawa ng mga bead necklaces, belts, or mga brass armlets. Katulad ng sa lalaki, mga wooden shields, betel nut box, at hunting tools. Oral literature and storytelling. Elders and babaylan o mga spiritual leaders serve as main storytellers. Stories explained during origins of the world, natural phenomena, and moral values. Consisted rich of oral traditions, respectful tales, and proverbs. Daily life and cultural continuity. Art is woven into daily tasks and rituals. This seen in weaving, weddings, healing ceremonies, traditionals are passed down through families and cultural school. Ensures the survival of Manubo identity despite modernization. Mandaya, sacred threads of ancestral memory. Ang mga Mandaya ay matatagpuan sa mountainous and coastal area ng Davao Oriental. Sila ay mayroong weaving and sacred cloth. Ito ay tinatawag na dagmay. Ito ang central ng Mandaya culture, handwoven fabric made from abaca fibers, used in rituals, healing, and community celebrations. Music and instruments, meron silang kudlong. Ito ay two-string boat lute. Kubing, ito ay bamboo jaw sharp. At kimbal na kanilang nagsisilbing drum. Dance and oral literature of Mandayas includes ritual dances. Ito ay slow, grateful movements in embroidered attire guided by drums and bamboo flutes. Myths in motions, performance reflected spiritual stories and ancestral beliefs. Oral traditions, epic chants, and rhythms preserving Mandaya worldview and faith in labaw na magbabaya. Ang labaw na magbabaya ay nagsisilbi kanilang Panginoon. Dito sila nananampalataya sa pamamagitan ng pagdarasal at pag-aalay ng mga hayop na kanilang nahuhuli. Sa daily life and artistic devotion, art in everyday life, weaving, crafting, and storytelling woven into daily tasks, sacred purpose, art as a spiritual duty linking past, present, and spiritual world. Cultural teaching, children learn the meaning of colors, rhythms, and stories. Living traditions, every craft reflects resilience, reverence, and sacred creation.
Good day, I'm Carl Japet Gomez. Today I'm going to discuss the indigenous struggles and survival in modern times of the Blaan, Tiduray, and Bagobo Lumad groups. So the objectives is to identify the main struggles faced by the Blaan, Tiduray, and Bagobo today, compare how each groups copes with modern changes, show how they preserve their culture while using modern tools such as school, technologies, and programs. Understand why protecting indigenous culture and land still matters, and to appreciate the resilience of human peoples and connection between cultural survival and ancestral lands. So first is the blaan between ancestral soil and modern struggles. So their struggles or modern struggles that they face are land dispossession, encroachment, or government expanding their public uh, facilities such as buildings and other things like road development. The mining activities too are one of the cause or challenges that the Blaan or Lumad group faces: environmental degradation and loss of sacred rivers and forests, and erosion of oral traditions. The cause are the expansion of plantations, road development, post-war land distribution, lack of formal ancestral land titles as the Blaan or the Mostly the Lumal groups don't possess land titles as their lands are being given to them by their ancestors, which don't have the titles or land titles posed to our modern schooling, neglecting indigenous culture as we experience today. Most of these schools doesn't offer these indigenous culture subjects. So their cultural survival response for this is pretty much adapting by using modern tools and going to school along with cultural revitalization programs, preserving weaving and beadwork, documenting rituals, youth education, legal campaigns for ancestral domain recognition, and cultural festivals. So as for the Teduray or the Guardians of Ancestral Forests, their challenges or modern struggles is deforestation, displacement from ancestral lands, disruption of forest-based rituals, erosion of forest-centered cosmology or their traditions slowly being forgotten or pretty much degrading, youth losing connection to traditions as the modern uh, the youth today or the modern youth pretty much adapting to uh, modern times or modern things that the modern day gives. So the costs are logging concessions or legal permit to log plantation agriculture or replacing the forest by agriculture products. Government impose land boundaries, armed conflicts, urbanization pressures. So the cultural survival response is using modern tools and adapting to modern education, revival of the Moai leadership, documentation of rituals and oral histories, environmental care programs, community-based youth culture programs, and forest protection advocacy. Last is the Bugobu and their weaving identity amid change. So the challenges that they face are loss of sacred sites, urbanization, commercialization of rituals, and traditional arts, weakening of cultural cohesion. So the cause are plantation expansion, urban sprawl, tourism commercialization, neglect of ritual spaces. So their response to this is pretty much adapting to by using modern tools and technology by on using modern tools and technology on preserving their traditions and cultures by uh, documenting and posting this in internet their traditions and cultures like uh, festivals and cultural programs too. Museum exhibits, educational initiatives, ritual and craft revival, and training younger generations in weaving, dances, and ceremonial traditions. So, in conclusion, the Doray and Bagobo face face many challenges in modern world, such as loss of land, changes in lifestyle, and pressures of modernization. So, as what I've seen on some documentation, some Lumad groups are pretty much adapted to modern times, like going to school and graduate. Some of them go back to their uh, community and give back or or help their community and educating the community on uh, adapting to modern times and pretty much preserving their culture. So even with these struggles, each group finds ways to cope by protecting their culture, as what I've said. Uh, Other Lumad groups did go to schools to adapt and to give back to their community, teaching youth and joining community programs while also using modern tools like education and technology. So by comparing their coping strategies, we can see that they do not simply give up their traditions. Instead, they only adapt while holding to their identity. This shows that preserving culture and protecting ancestral lands are still important today, not only for the Lumad but also for future generations who will carry their stories forward. So that's all. Thank you.
Good day everyone, my name is Carl Reginis Brillantes and I will discuss about the struggles and survival in modern time, identity and territory of indigenous people. So, first things is, this is my topic, so I will introduce myself first. Trivia about myself, Kaulo, Kalagan, about their tribe, Negrito, about their tribe, Manobo, and Mandaya. And about their conclusion, what we will get about their hardship and struggles. So first things first, my name is Carl Regens Brillantes, age 22, and I got a hobbies of reading novels, watching anime, and playing games. So I got a trivia about me. Based on the previous reporter, one of them is my ethnicity. So, A. Mangyan, B. Bilaan, C. Tiduray, or D. Bagobo. So, the clue is I my tribe primarily inhabiting the highlands and coastal area around Mount Apo in Davao. So, in 3, 2, 1, the correct answer is Bagubo. I got a tribe, my tribe name is Bagubo. So, from my father's side, he's from the, um, his father came from, Davao. He moved to Jensan to find a good life. So, and that's, they meet my, grandmother, and my father was born. Next is about the Kaulo Kalangan Living Faith and Identity. So, the Kaul people in Davao del Sur and Davao Occidental have embraced Islam while preserving their indigenous spiritual tradition. Living in coastal and riverine area, they are highly vulnerable to climate change, natural disaster, and land loss. Despite modernization, integration, and formal education, they continue to protect their cultural identity through ritual led by lands and traditional Kulintang music. Their effort to document history in sacred dance help ensure that their heritage is passed on to future generation. Next, about the Negrito, about their two types, Ate and Agta. So, Negritos group including the Atis in the Visayas and Agta in Luzon have faced long-term displacement caused by logging, tourism, and urban development. This forced migration had led to poverty, loss of livelihood, and limited access to education. Discrimination and lack of legal documentation further prevent school attendance. However, this community strives to preserve their identity by reviving oral tradition, traditional music, survival skills, and body arts, which serve as both cultural resistance and celebration. Next, about the Manubo. The Manobo tribes, one of the largest indigenous groups in Mindanao, are spread across Agusan, Bukidnon, Cotabato, and Davao. They have experienced widespread displacement due to logging, dam construction, and armed conflict, forcing many families to evacuate into evacuation center. While access to education has increased, mainstream system of them overlook their culture. In response, elders and educators of integrated Manubo integrate their epics, dance, and rituals and Kulintan music into community based on learning to preserve their identity and strengthen resilience. Next will be the Mandaya. The Mandaya people of Davao Oriental and nearby province face ongoing threat from logging, illegal mining, and conflict which endangered their ancestral lands. Modern influence have also distanced the youth from traditional practice. To counter this, cultural education promotes sacred dagmay weaving, epic chanting, and bamboo instrument performance guided by the babaylan and supported by the festival like Sambukan. This effort helped maintain Mandaya culture and identity and community harmony. So, in conclusion, the Kaula, Negrito, Manubo, and Mandaya community face serious challenges from urbanization, displacement, and environmental damage that threaten their culture and way of life. Despite these struggles, they continue to preserve their traditional through rituals, education, and cultural programs. Their resilience shows the importance of protecting indigenous rights, ancestral lands, and cultural heritage to ensure their traditions survive for future generations. That will be all. Thank you.